Welcome back to another exciting episode of Weekend Weeb-out.
The world's newest ASMR channel. We hope you guys will enjoy this wonderful content that we bring for you.
We are not becoming an ASMR channel. I'm sorry.
That's where all the views are, though. So if we want to get views, we're gonna have to. We can't talk anime anymore. Sorry, guys. It has to be ASMR now. Because that's where all the...
What if we do an entire episode in ASMR, though?
NMSMR.
ASMR?
NSMR.
We can talk about this week's episode of Dororo.
Oh, you're already jumping into it. I was gonna... I just want to talk about it.
ASMR. No, yeah. I'm trying to get it going.
Not even that was gonna save that episode. Oh my gosh. Okay, all right. So,
well, we can properly start this off. For those of you joining in, I'm Cherbie,
and I'm Malrogg. Welcome to our weekend weeb-out.
And we're here just to ruin your week.
Yeah, no, we're just here to complain about parts of this week in the anime shows that we've watched that were just awful or wonderful. Usually, the ones that we like to complain about are the ones that we normally start off our stream just by complaining about the things that are just so bad, whether it's the industry, so like,
our jobs.
Yeah, our Netflix just refuses to release Carol and Tuesday, which I'd love to watch. And I heard that the most recent episode was really good on Reddit from the people that watched it.
It's episodic in Japan.
Yeah,
and
it
UK,
is.
I think.
Yeah. No, we just have to move to Japan so we can actually have quality shows. But yeah, speaking of quality shows,
oh no,
let's we had an interesting event happen this week where a show that's normally one of the best shows of the week, one that continued from the last season that was just fantastic, Dororo.
We're jumping right into this, aren't we?
Clearly, yes, we're going to. We had the worst episode of the entire season this week, and we watched it. We couldn't believe our eyes, and on a change of note, One Punch Man had one of the best episodes
but
this week.
But it still wasn't enough to cure the anger for how bad this week's episode of Dororo was.
Right, so let's jump into Dororo. Let's start. Okay.
It's so sad.
Tell me what your experience was. You were like excited for Dororo. Monday, the episode came out on time.
That was the exciting part.
Thank you, Amazon Prime,
Very cool.
for providing the service that I pay for on a yearly basis and actually giving me what I'm paying for. So that was really cool.
I come home, Malrogg's like, "Hey, the episode is actually up on Amazon. Yeah. Let's dig in."
So we watched it, but then oh man,
it was immediate. Like immediately after the intro, we're like, something is off. This looks like garbage.
Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. It was, this episode had a different director. Let's see if I can recall the name. I think it was Osamu Kobayashi, something like that. He's the guy who did the ending for the first season of Dororo. So it was like kind of that artsy, kind of janky animation.
Like pencil sketches.
Yeah. They're kind of like walking along, whatever. And you're like, okay, that's all right for an ending. I don't have a problem with it. It was cool. It had a nice song with it, etc. Moving on to the next thing. But he got to direct an episode
all to
himself. And his style just didn't work. It looked awful. Like it was okay when you were right up close on like Dororo or Hyukimaru's face, but anytime he moved slightly away from frame and like you had to actually animate them like walking around, they looked like these amoebas that were moving around on the screen. It was so bad.
They didn't even have shape. They were just a dot at
the
bottom.
They were amorphous. It was
also, their faces from afar were literally just a pencil dot on a circular like shape.
Yeah.
All the townsfolk, the rice farmers, who looked up and they're just like everything looked like a lower quality version of Cyanide and Happiness, basically.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
It didn't look good. It didn't look good at all. And there were some instances in the episode where like, okay, that looks all right. Like there was
passable.
Some like action sequences where the fluidity of the motion, played into it. And you're like, okay, if that was just for like a quick like action sort of scene, I could have seen that being the thing. But for the entire episode, we had to suffer through that horrendous animation.
And then there was the moment of running through the forest.
Oh man,
oh my god,
that was bad. That was really bad.
It was legit clipping. If you guys remember in our review, our anime review, we had mentioned the anime where we had seen the guy jumping over the wooden logs, and it was just janky.
Yeah, no, that was Full Metal Panic: Invisible Victory. Yeah, that was one of the later episodes because their budget was dying real bad, and they ended up having some really nasty, janky animation near some of the end episodes.
And there were some parts of Dororo that looked like that.
This entire episode looked like that too. And it was just like, and you know, it's funny because I love Gurren Lagann. I think it's a great anime. And episode 4 of Gurren Lagann is the worst episode of the show. And funnily enough, the same guy who directed that episode also directed this episode of Dororo. And it's just
really
like
funny because we were watching it, we're like, man, this is like that one moment in Gurren Lagann where somebody came
in
and
we
ruined
looked it
an
up,
episode.
and then lo and behold, it was like, oh my gosh, it's the same guy. And I was like, man, how does this man get work?
Why do you keep getting a director job when you can just stick to weird outros?
Just make your endings, like maybe even do your intros, like whatever. Do like that stuff, but don't like get an entire episode. And I mean, even if the entire anime was in that style, then like, you know, it would certainly be lesser quality in my opinion, but at least it wouldn't be as jarring. But
yeah, this was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and this was a part 2 of a 2-part episode arc.
Yep.
As well. So it was like it came out of nowhere. It was just like,
if he was going to do one thing, it should have been a single episode arc adventure something.
Yeah,
but this was like, we're going to see part 2 of what happens.
Yeah.
Garbage.
No. Yeah, I mean, like, maybe it was slightly passable for us because we watched the first episode of this arc on YouTube in low quality.
Oh, man.
So, like, but that still looked better than this. So it was like, maybe in that case, this kind of keeps up the quality in that way. But man, it looked bad. The moth flying into the tower and then it just exploding in fire looked so bad.
It just hit the tower and then flames immediately.
It looked like a Michael Bay moment. Like it just exploded. Yep. And you were like, okay.
And then Dororo in the basement when like the kids were all trying to help him and everything. Like, let's talk about this. The story was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed what was happening. I enjoyed that the weird giant baby thing came and saved him because they were the embodiment of all the souls of the orphans.
Yeah.
But I was too jarred to remember most of what happened because it was like, just terrible.
Yeah, from the episode, it's basically like the orphans and the nun, they were fed to the moths. And the moths brought, I guess, prosperity and stuff to the village. Like, they helped them cultivate, like, their rice, and they, like, got rid of all the moths ate up all the bandits and the people that were ravaging the town before. And then at that point, then they're like, okay, you know, great. But then, like, when you run out of bandits, it's like, oh crap, what do we do? So then they fed the nun and the kids to them to, like, you know, keep them going or whatever. But yeah, no, it was just it was an interesting sort of episode because then Hyakimaru continues to move towards vengeance as like his prime imperative. So it's like he's going to like, I'm gonna get my body back. I'm gonna destroy demons. That's what I'm gonna do. Whereas Dororo she's like, you know, trying to, she's being like, well, you know, is you getting your body parts back worth the destruction you leave in your wake? Because these people are prospering, even like, you know, if they're prospering by bad means, isn't necessarily, you know, do we necessarily have to destroy every single demon, even when there are instances where the demon might be helping people, right? So like she's kind of going off in that direction, and by the end of the episode, Hyakimaru goes and kills the moth. Dororo kind of goes off on her own because she's like, my brother's being stupid. They like have like a little fight breakup sort of thing.
Kidnapped.
Yeah, she runs into Itachi, the guy who
betrayed the rest of the clan.
Betrayed her father, and like, you know, and was there when her mother had to put hot porridge in her hands, you know, that whole episode. So like he's been around. He's kind of like the ghost haunting Dororo's past. So in that regard, it's like cool things are happening, but man, the animation just hurt the entire episode.
I think we're going to get a little bit of maybe a redemption story or a turnaround for Hyakimaru in the next episode, because this is the first time that they've truly been separated. Like Dororo, she's off being kidnapped because she has the map on her back, right? And they recognize that, and they're like, oh, the other half is on you. And then towards the end of the episode, like Hyakimaru looks like he's struggling, like he wants to get his body parts back, and he clearly visibly is like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this, and then doesn't hear Dororo anymore, turns around, Dororo? Hello? Dororo? Not there. So I think he's going to realize that due to his not paying attention, he's alone again. And he's going to truly feel that. Because he hasn't been alone since he started this adventure with Dororo joining him. Right. He's always had, you know, whether it was the orphans, whether it was Mai or Dororo, people have been around. This is his first time being alone again.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, something I'm actually wondering is, Did Itachi get that half of the map off of Dororo's dead mother?
Maybe.
That's what it seems like. Because the two halves of the map One is on the mom and one is on Dororo, right? And like it was the father who carved them into each of their backs. So clearly Itachi went and found the dead mom and like got the map off of her.
Because she was in the flower field dying right. I think it was like not too far after when she had gotten the soup for him in her boiling hands. So her hands were still burned. So he probably tailed them and then found that out when in ways that it was... I don't want to know how inappropriate.
Yeah, I don't know, but like, yeah, it's pretty messed up to think about. That's what happened, and so obviously he's hunting down the second half of the map, which is on Dororo's back. So it's like, well, what's gonna happen in there? Is she gonna be okay? Does Yakimaru have to come save her? Is she gonna save herself? Like,
or will he trace it off of her and then just leave her for dead?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's with him, he's kind of like a survival of the fittest. I'm just gonna kind of do my own thing sort of guy, like Itachi, right? So I don't see him like purposefully killing her unless he thinks, oh, you'll go for the map too. Yeah. So I need to silence you or something like that. But for the most part, he's just kind of gone off and done his own thing. He's kind of a slimy weasel / betrayer, but he doesn't seem to go out of his way to actually commit the murders himself. He just leads people towards things and where they'll die. So I don't know. We'll have to see, but it's an interesting development. I want to see more of Dororo as it goes on, but
without that director,
they're going back to the regular animation style. Thank goodness on the next episode. But yeah, just the animation was just so horrible that it was like, man. I seriously hope that they change it up in the Blu-rays, but I think that'll just be the black sheep of that show.
Yeah, and it's sad though. I want to go back and watch it now with the lenses I have now. And be like, okay, I know it's gonna look janky the entire time. Let me go back and see what I missed story wise, because there was times where like they were talking, and I'm like, I can't get over this. This is making me so angry. So there's our first rant of the day.
And now let's talk about a more positive change. One Punch Man Season 2, Episode 3 was awesome.
I think it redeemed the first 2 episodes.
It looked way better, and I think a part of it is the fight scene in the very first episode was a little bit off. Like I wasn't as big of a fan of it. It didn't look super good. It was the Genos versus that like knight guy or whatever.
Yeah, the mechanical knight.
Right. And then like Saitama obviously goes off, and it's like chatting with King and that whole thing. But in this one, we actually got to see. The fight with what's his name? Shoot, I'm forgetting the name. Garo. That's it. Garo. Yeah, the Silverfang's disciple, and he basically fights like
the
Silverfang,
self-proclaimed monster.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he's not. I mean, he's bad, obviously, but he's got an interesting badness to them. He just wants to he basically just wants to fight strong people. Yeah. But it's almost like he's figured out, like, okay, some of the strongest people I can fight are heroes, so I just want to fight them. Versus like being, I want to protect and save and justice and stuff like that, right? He's not interested in that at all. He just wants to fight strong opponents, from what I can tell.
Can we just have a moment of silence for Moomin Rider?
Dude, Moomin Rider.
Oh my gosh.
Moomin Rider, you should have just let them fight.
You should not have gotten involved.
Yeah, the Justice Crash. Oh man,
I felt so bad watching that.
Dude, watching him slam his face into the page.
There's just a pool of blood splattering more and more with each slam. Just like,
Moomin Rider.
I'm sitting there like, no, it's the Water King monster all over again.
Yeah, Deep Sea King. Man, that was very sad. I played Despacito in my mind when I saw that.
Yep, that's exactly what took place. But we also, what is it called? I think I love how we see Garo's not more human side, but it kind of solidifies what you were saying about him not technically being a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because we see that when he's sitting on the bus stop or the bench with the boy.
Right.
The boy's looking at the heroes.
He's just looking at the almanac. And
I want to see the monsters in the book.
Yeah, that was an interesting characterization moment for him. Because other than seeing him, all we've ever seen of him for now is just, I want to fight you, and then he just fights people, or people are like, we finally found you, and then he fights them. But this was a moment where he was actually interacting with someone and he wasn't fighting them, and he didn't like hurt or kill the boy or anything like that. He totally let him go. He was just like, ooh, can I borrow this? And he's just looking at it, and he was like, oh, look at all these heroes. He's like, yeah, the heroes are boring. Ooh, it's got monsters. And so you can see where his interest He's interested in the monster.
The heroes are where it's at.
Yeah,
he's talking back to this Garo guy. He doesn't know just killed like 8 heroes.
And he's like, "Ooh, are you interested in this?" And he's like, So like the kid doesn't know that he's like one of the person who's like destroying heroes.
Caleb put F in the chat for our paying respects to poor
dude,
Moomin Rider.
Pay respects for Moomin Rider.
That's exactly what this is.
That is 100% correct. Pay your respects.
We felt so bad. And, in the moment, I'm like, no, Moomin Rider.
Yeah, and then when Garo just went beast mode on a tank top master, that was sick. It was like, so good.
It was
now
great.
it was at that point where we're like, okay, I can see Garo being like the villain of this arc, right? Because
hospitalized them all.
Yeah, dude, he put them all in the hospital. And but going back to what we were saying about like the whole humanization aspect, characterization, it was interesting to see because it's almost like he's like what your average human is, who's like, oh, they get saved by a hero and like that hero is so great, like King is the coolest hero ever, I want to be just like him, that the hero story, right? But it's just you take that and instead he's like, man, that monster just destroyed that city. That monster's super cool. I want to be just like him. Yep. It's the same thing, but towards the wrong side, right? So, and he's like, trying to insist that he's like, I'm a monster, and that whole thing.
He's currently a perfect counter, what's it called, a counteraction to Saitama.
Like a foil?
Yeah, because he's literally looking for the absolute strongest and wants to take them on and find that person that can beat him, and Saitama is the person that can do that.
Yeah, speaking of that, he's like, are you trying to rob me? He karate chops him, and then he just goes plop.
He knocks out Garo.
Saitama's like, oh, just what I was looking for. He's pointing at the wig because he wants to enter this like martial arts tournament or whatever. He's like, oh, martial arts looks cool, I'm gonna try it, right? And so then he's like, ooh, I found you. He's like pointing at the wig, and Garo's just like, oh, another one of these stupid heroes trying to fight me? Fine, I'm gonna destroy him. So he like karate chops Saitama, and Saitama's like, dude, what the heck? Are you trying to rob me? And Garo's like, oh, this guy.
No dent, doesn't even feel it.
He just looks at him like,
impales him into the ground.
Yeah, dude, the sweat on his face like flies up. It's just like he's so terrified. And then Saitama karate chops him back, and then he's just like out. And then it's just over. Like Saitama just walks away. He's like, this is some loser.
It's a moment of putting F in the respects for Garo because he was just handed his
Type
own
F
butt.
in the chat for Garo.
We feel bad for the guy that actually almost killed Moomin Rider.
Right. So that was kind of interesting, but yeah. So we're gonna get more out of Garo, and then we got Saitama going into this martial arts tournament, which I don't foresee how this is gonna work because Saitama's probably just gonna punch everybody once and they'll lose, and people will think it's some sort of super technique, whereas he's actually trying to learn something, and they're all gonna study him trying to learn from him probably.
You know what's gonna come of this?
What?
They're learning from Mob Psycho. Season 2, there's gonna be a Saitama fan club that's just gonna have a bunch of shirts that have a bald head on it. It's gonna be people that believe that he's now their sensei.
Well, I don't see that working in this one though, because he's wearing the hair, right? He's disguised.
Oh, yeah.
He's disguised as like that weak.
But they'll be looking for him then.
Well, they'll be looking for that guy. So then maybe like Silverfang's disciple will be like, oh, he's the strongest.
He has all these fans.
Yeah. He'll be like the new king. He'll be like King as well.
Yeah.
King gets all the credit for what Saitama does, right?
Yep.
And I mean, that's basically Saitama's character, is he does all the right things, but he doesn't get any of the credit
recognition,
for it.
yeah. But now he's starting to grow his little posse.
Yeah.
Because
so like rather none of the like regular folk appreciate Saitama, but all the heroes do.
Yeah.
So it's like he's growing like this hero group that are all like
up.
centered around him because they know he's powerful.
I like your name. Your name is cool. It's better than Caped Baldy.
Caped Baldy. Yeah.
The name that he's.
But
taking.
yeah, all in all, great episode of One Punch Man season 2. I am excited for them to continue to make the series better and better. It's only every episode has gotten a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm hoping it either improves at this point or at least keeps with the
at least maintains this level. Because like if they can maintain this level for the rest of the series, then like I'm like that's great. Like that's fantastic. I'm not even too worried. The first season obviously was just above and beyond.
Phenomenal.
But this one, like, you know, if they can just maintain that quality, then like I think the content of One Punch Man can really carry it through. So yeah, excited for more. Good job. Shoot, what was the name? JC Staff, was it?
Was it JC Staff? I don't think it was. MC staff.
I think it's JC staff, but we can look that up later. But yeah, good job, you guys. You normally you do all these cutesy shows, but you've succeeded on this one. So good job.
What's next?
Well, we got a couple other shows we can talk about. Did you want to talk about the helpful Fox Senko-san?
Yes.
All right, so
I enjoy it, and I'm glad that we have added to the roster. We're not just at 2 people now; we're kind of at 3 because we've added the neighbor next door.
Yep. And now it is canon that our little Fox Senko-san is his wife mother,
his wife mom.
We've achieved a new level.
Well, in the episode, for those of you that may not have watched it, there's a point when the neighbor comes in and they kind of schmooze her over with food, and
they feed her, and she's like, oh, okay, I guess it's all right.
She overlooks the noise that they make, and then goes, so what is she to you? And she's like, isn't it obvious? I'm his wife mother. We're like, what? How did that happen? And then, because she was so satisfied with the meal, she just passed it off. And he's sitting there like, you believe that?
And yeah, it's also, we have established that her MO for going outside is that she is just constantly cosplaying.
Oh yeah, because they think that she's cosplaying a Fox character.
Yeah, from that show that everybody likes. So
I want to watch that show.
Oh yeah, I'll bet you do.
He takes pictures of the Fox girl and trying to get her.
Dude, that show is sketchy.
He's a pervert trying to take pictures of the sexy Fox, and then she fights off the paparazzi guy who looks like Kingpin.
Is that what you are? Cherbie, are you that person hiding behind trees, taking pictures of Fox girls?
Yes.
Confirmed. But yeah, no, it was a cute episode. I enjoyed every week. Just all around enjoyable. It's a good I had a bad day at work and I just want to relax sort of show.
But I'm glad we had a change though, because the first few episodes it was just always in the apartment. Even episode 2, he doesn't you don't see him at work at all really. He just the antics of being at home. And now we get to see them out at the supermarket, walking down the street. We get to see a little more interaction with the people around them, and it felt a little bit more like a show and less of just a sitcom.
Yep.
So I was happy to get finally out of the apartment, and we can just start, working on all the other things that they can be doing versus, hi, welcome, work suck, here's a meal kind of thing. I'm glad it wasn't repetitive, basically.
Yep. And I'd like to jump on to the other show that we've been really enjoying this season, Sarazanmai.
Oh,
man.
This has been fun. And this episode kind of went a little weirder as far as we're seeing some more secrets and the love between the 2 boys.
Yep.
A little awkward, but then kind of in a weird way cute.
Yeah, one of the funny parts is that he keeps having these daydream hallucinations.
Yes.
Where he's he imagines the other boy running in and saving him and being like, we're gonna be the golden duo forever. And then they do their stupid little dance thing. Yeah, it's basically it's like the Dragon Ball Z
fusion
dance or what have you.
They're basically just dabbing.
But yeah, no, so that was interesting. And of course we have it's a almost like a Monster of the Week sort of show a little bit.
Okay.
Because we have the person that they the spirit that they attack for each week. And each week you have a little bit more we learn either about one of the boys or this person who's given into their desires and they have to have it removed, and then you learn some more secrets.
And we saw a little bit more of the police officers that are causing this.
Yeah.
Because we didn't see much of them in the first episode. Some now, but now this episode we see, okay, they're working for a greater being of sorts. That's
an organization that's represented by an otter, it seems.
That's disappointing. Oh, yeah, they were utterly disappointed.
Indeed, yes.
I was actually upset to see the word utterly used 3 times in the same scene. I'm like, we get it. You're making puns on an otter. You use a different pun. You've used the same one 3 times.
I hope that when they come out with the dub that they put the word otter in everything they say. I hope
more puns.
Yes, I want all the puns. I want it to be as punny as possible. And
It'll
just
be
the
great.
more the better.
But good to see a little bit more of them. Like, they were saying, oh, yeah, sorry, we let you down. We need to make more monsters. This one was promising, but there's somebody in the way. So now we're going to start seeing conflict of them actively going after the Sarazanma boys.
Yeah.
He's going to go after them, which is great. But it's weird. I'm enjoying how now we're seeing, like, two different plots develop. And we're seeing the characters develop as well. Because we're seeing the boys and what they're interested in.
Their secrets,
But not just that, but what their goals are. And now we're seeing the flaws of the first main character, because all he wants to do is do things that get him closer to his brother. All his brother wants is just time with him. So he goes away, leaves him, doesn't talk to him, and then becomes the girl to take selfies and send him pictures. Like, dude, he just literally wants to spend time with you, and you're doing all of this. And you're ignoring what's happening in front of you.
And was it in any of the other episodes that we discovered that his little brother is a cripple?
I have no idea.
Like, I was like, I watched it. I was like, I thought I'd seen it before. It seemed familiar, but I wasn't 100%, because I haven't seen him in his chair before.
He was just sitting, always sitting.
Right.
He was sitting at the table for dinner. He was sitting at the bench with them in the beginning of that episode. So we never actually saw him walking at any point. Every time he left, it seemed to happen twice now, where he was having breakfast and he just leaves. Right. So we just see the boy sitting at the table. And then all of a sudden at the end of that episode, it's like, oh, he's a cripple.
It's like, okay, that makes more sense. So it's like his younger brother is like, has a condition and is sick, and so that you can it builds up some more empathy for you to be like, oh, I kind of understand where he's coming from and why he wants to, like, get close, make him happy in a sense, right?
I still like last episode though, when we found out that he stole someone's cat to make it the quote unquote neighborhood cat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you from your lovely home and make you live on the streets so my brother's happy.
But yeah, no, and then in this one we saw all the secret interactions where the glasses boy was like licking the recorder piece of the other boy. Like, oh no,
smelling the clothes that were in the locker.
Oh, that's gross.
So now, do you think there's ever going to be a point in this series where they fail to do an extraction? Because so far, every episode, when they start the extraction, it's the same animation, just a different monster that they're penetrating.
Yeah, no, good choice of words. I imagine that they will, but it'll be more of a, like,
dramatic moment.
A dramatic moment where, like, their teamwork begins to fall apart, and like their bonds are tested. Like, one of those sort of, like,
so far
develop the group episodes.
Their bond in the Kappa form seems to just be held together by the magic of whatever is doing that to them.
Yeah.
It's not like they're acting that way, because outside in their human form, they don't like each other. They just kind of, like, blow each other off. They're angry. But then they're, like, ultra teamwork in Kappa form.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's only their magical boy form that's holding them together as a team.
Yeah, but they're also kind of held together by their desires, because they all want the wish discs.
Yes. That's one thing they do have in common.
Right.
So, but I guess we might see that starting to fall apart as it gets to the last disc.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But yeah, all in all, just wonderful, interesting, booty-filled series.
Oh.
Lots of fun. But yeah, it's super
fun.
Weird, but super interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those things where there's no actual way to describe it to somebody. Say, hey, you should watch this. What's about? What's about?
It's like you don't tell them what it's about. You just say, watch the first episode. And then once they've watched the first episode, they'll know whether they like it or not.
Yeah. They'll also know that there was no way to explain what
they won't be able to explain it to anybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where just watch the first episode, you'll know if you hate it or not. And then after you've seen it, you can join us every week for talking about what you've missed.
Yeah.
So you don't have to put yourself through that.
Right,
if you're not interested.
Yeah, let's jump into Fruits Basket.
Oh, okay. Still loving Fruits Basket.
Yep.
I like that we introduced a female Zodiac character this time. It was fun to see the dynamic of that.
The year of the boar. Very
a kawaii,
a pig-headed, one could say. Very pig-headed.
Boo.
And she's super infatuated with Kyo, the cat.
Yep.
And so she's like she's almost like a yandere-esque sort of
bipolar yandere.
Yeah, she's got sort of that, like, oh, I love you.
Don't you ever leave me?
Don't you ever leave me? That whole
oh, you're the best.
Oh my gosh, she's so great. Oh, don't you leave me? That sort of thing. So, It is what it is. It's just another fun episode. I don't think all that much to comment on, really.
No, but I am gonna say this. I am happy that she's not living with them. Like it was a one-off kind of thing. Because having that kind of energy every episode would get annoying fast.
Yeah.
By the end of the episode, I'm like, okay, I'm a little bothered by her now. Can she go away? Like, yeah, you can stay the night, but only the night. You can't live with us.
Yep.
Okay. Thank
and yeah,
goodness.
there were interesting hints though of other things. So for example, like she asks
true form.
Yeah. What's their true form? And she also asks, hey, can I live with you? He's like, you know that you can't.
Yeah.
She's with the main Soma clan. So is the dog, cat, and the mouse, or the dog, cat, and the rat, are they like excised from the family for some reason? Like what's the family dynamic is obviously very complicated, very crazy,
because we also
hectic.
know that they're all organization based. There is a lead to the
Soma family,
the Soma family. So like they don't, for instance, in the first, I think it was the first episode, the first episode, when he goes, okay, I talked to them and they're okay with her staying here. Basically, they got permission, but they don't have permission for the boar to stay there.
Yeah.
So there's clearly something that's being strings pulled in the background.
Yeah, and they're going to be continuing to introduce new Soma clan members, I'm sure. We also got that little cliffhanger at the end, so it sounds like Grandpa either got a new place to live, or
Grandpa's dying,
or Grandpa's in trouble, or something's happening where her living situation is now in jeopardy, and she was like, I wanted to.
I thought I'd be a family with Soma and find myself here.
Yeah, that whole thing. So
now we're gonna have to wait a week and figure out what's going on.
So we'll have to see what happens with that next Friday. So, but yeah, all in all, good show. I'm enjoying it. The quality's really nice.
Yep. It's still beautiful and feels old school, like you were saying, Megalobox. It just feels like it's an older anime, but it's crisp and clean.
Yeah, and they went above and beyond. They actually kept the majority of the voice talent from the original show in English.
Really?
Yeah, in the English voice dub cast is pretty much the same.
Same characters?
Yeah, from the old show.
That's exciting.
But in the Japanese though, they switched up completely.
Yeah.
But the English cast, the ones that were dubbed by Funimation or whatever, they kept the entire cast.
Maybe it's because they know that US is big on their nostalgia.
Yeah. Well, whatever the reason was, that was a very wise move, I think, because a lot of people watched it when it was dubbed in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Because it was along with the Full Metal Alchemist dub and shows of that caliber back in the day. So but yeah, no, good show all in all, enjoying
Exciting. Liked it.
Yeah.
So now tell me, what did I miss in this week's episode of Senryu Girl? Because I have yet to see it. So as soon as the stream is over, I'm watching it.
In Senryu Girl, we got a new girl introduced.
Ooh.
But she's a drawing artist girl.
Okay.
And so rather than writing down Senryu as her means of communication, she draws pictures. And she puts the pictures in front of her face to be a happy face or a waving face, so she doesn't have to wave or
It's become an episode of Pictionary now?
Yeah, it's basically Pictionary.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, and then it's, you had in the beginning, they're like, oh, is there somebody stalking him? And so main girl was obviously like, oh my gosh, no. I must protect my man.
Kirby energy.
Yeah, you stay away from him. He's mine. And then they were like, this girl, they met her and you're like, oh, okay, you like to draw, that whole thing. And then she came to the literature club and they're like, hey, I have a great idea. Let's all draw each other. So they all drew each other. And what main dude, whatever his name is, he draws everyone scary. And and then main girl draws everybody cute with cute little eyes and
big open mouth,
well, not a big, actually really just a small button mouth.
Tiny
but
mouth, okay.
Just that kind of really cute shoujo eyes, things like that. So it was adorable.
Well, now
but
I'm excited for the stream to end.
Yeah,
Let's just end it now.
You gotta watch it. Yeah.
I know.
But no, it was a cute episode. Just introduction of a new character and just more of the same old. So yeah, good stuff.
Before moving on, I randomly remembered back to One Punch Man really quick.
Yeah.
I love how he kept bringing bananas to the
banana
hospital.
I've seen the banana memes everywhere.
He's just here, have a banana. Can I put these here? Oh, how nice of you. He put them there for himself.
Yeah,
he just
as
doesn't
he's
even
eating
give
a banana.
Rider one.
Saitama.
And everyone's so thankful that he gives up. Here, have a banana. Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you. But it's so weird that they're they thank him because it's a gift. but they're also like, this is a really weird.
Why did you bring me
Why
bananas?
did you put a banana on my foot? You know.
Oh.
But yeah, no, that was good. I'm glad you brought that up. I totally like
glossed over. We both forgot. No, I'm like,
it's
banana.
big. It's huge meme potential. Like it's in all the memes of this week. It's just like Saitama with bananas.
As soon as Malrogg gets sick next time, I'm gonna bring a banana and just set it down on your chest. Here you go.
Not gonna lie, I'd probably eat it though. I know,
I know, it's great.
Bananas are amazing.
Get you that potassium.
Yeah. Let's talk about Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer. I just watched this like half an hour ago, and it was exciting.
Demon Slayer is really good every week. So we've moved away from the training arc, and now it's like the survival competition to become the part of the Demon Slayer corps.
Yeah, because it's like the end of the training, and now we're in the what was it called, the passing. There was a certain phrase for it. They're trying to survive this. It's their final test.
Yeah, final judgment, final test, something like that.
Something along the lines of that, which was I love it because now we're seeing the not wimpy him. Like when they first sees a demon walks in there, he like tenses up, but then immediately, okay, remember my breathing. And then we see his first getting hit actually hard, and he loses focus. He gets angry because he realizes that the two kids that helped him, which we were told now were spirits. I called it last week when I said that here.
You're like, I'm sure that they're spirits,
positive spirits of like kids that previously like were his trainees, and then turned out I was right. So point for Cherbie.
Yeah, but they were also eaten by the demon.
By that demon,
the one that's been around for 40-something years.
47 years.
Yeah.
He's like, that Endo era. Wait, what? You've been here for that long? But being able to see him lose his composure and then gain it again because he realizes, no, I can't lose it here. I'm angry about them dying, but I have to be in control. We're seeing the mature side of him, and it makes me excited because I'm like, I don't want another Deku who cries at everything. Like, I leave that for Boku no Hero. I want somebody who's growing up, and he's showing maturity, and I love it.
Yeah, and he was able to, in this episode, he was able to defeat all the demons that came at him. So just the two that jumped him in the beginning.
3 for 3.
Yep, 3 for 3. And it's we also saw his like technique where he's using the scent of the demon to find their vital point and like slash them on their necks.
Which I like because to me that's like, oh, okay, he has the Pathfinder feat for Vital Strike. Like that moment of knowing, okay, my enemy is open, here's their weak spot, go for it.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of a show called Grimgar, where the main guy's a rogue and he can see the thread leading to their vital point. And so he can follow that with his blade until he stabs him, right? Ooh. So it was kind of like that. It reminded me of that a little bit, but obviously...
Or erased with the guy in the wheelchair that can see the lifeline thread of people and when they're going to die.
I guess it's a combination of those. I don't know, but yeah, so... really, really good episode. I'm enjoying it every week. The animation was on par. The music is really good. It's very haunting, which I really like. So I think it's Yuki Kajira who's doing the music, and it's just stellar every episode.
I'm glad that we're finally seeing not the magic, but like the power behind his strikes, because this is the first time, besides the strike with the boulder, that we're actually seeing him breathe in and then make a strike that is abnormally strong. Like, he's, even the demon said, even the last kid, the pink-haired kid, he lost it, tried striking me and wasn't strong enough, and then he breathes in, gets the power, and you see the animation of like the water flowing, because you called it. You actually called this first episode that it was going to be some kind of water like magic ability, but because he named all of his strikes water based, like water circle,
right,
or like water surface kind of thing, surface strike. And I'm glad we're seeing that now, but it's exciting because we're done building the character and the world. The first 2-3 episodes is kind of building what it was.
Yeah.
Now we're in the meat and potatoes of the anime. It feels like this is the standard that's going to be set for the rest of it.
Yeah, and this is going to be a 26-episode show.
Oh, praise.
So it's going to be going on through the summer.
We'll be ranting on it through summer.
Yeah. And like, actually, I was looking forward to the summer, and oh man, we are going to have a lot.
Is there some good stuff happening?
Oh, there's some really good stuff. We can... More details to come later, but
we'll have to make a top 10 most excited for summer.
I'm gonna make an anticipation video for the summer because it is I mean, for this season, I was under the impression that I was like, oh, maybe I'll make an anticipation video, but there were a lot of shows that were kind of like meh, kind of okay. So I didn't see the need to really do it for this season. But next season, there's going to be a lot of good shows, so I think I'm going to need to cut it down to a minimum of 10. Because there's going to be so many good ones.
And for those of you that actually do jump on, I know some people jump and listen to the recordings. If there's something that you're like interested in, like enough of you are like, hey, I want you guys to talk about this more when you do like here's what's next. You know, we usually talk about the studio, what the story is in the background. But if there's something you're like, oh, I'd really like you to cover the manga for like 3 or 4 seconds with everything that you talk about. If there's just something that you guys want to hear about, let us know.
Yeah. No, I'm more than happy to talk about pretty much anything. These are just stuff off the top of our head. But if there's something where it's like, I want to discuss music in anime, we can go that route. We can talk about that. But you know, it has to be something where people actually want to engage with it. But
music and anime. Just start with Your Lie in April, and we'll just go from there.
Oh man, no, I'm ready to throw down with someone who wants to claim that Fate Zero and Unlimited Budget Works and all the other Fate movies that have come out with Yuki Kadra, who's fantastic, have the best music in the Fate series. I'm gonna stick it to him and be like, no, the best music in the Fate series was done by Kenji Kawai in the 2016 adaptation. The best music of Fate was done then, and I'll stake my life on it, and I'll fight you. Anyone wants to go down on that one.
Well,
but yeah, no.
Here you can go face to face with Malrogg.
Yeah, we can fight over it. We can fight over it. But yeah, so there's plenty of things we can talk about. But yeah, real quick, before I think we're getting close to wrapping up. We've covered a lot of the shows, but one that I did want to talk about was obviously we're still watching Shield Hero. As it comes out weekly. We got our we got
our
to fight
CG dragon.
We got to fight the dragon. Well, we watched as a really
Giant
big
cuckoo.
bird annihilated the dragon. We're like, wow, that is a really big bird.
Look at all them chickens.
Nice bird. And I was like, what was his comment? It was like, I can't believe I'm feeding this KFC farm.
Oh yeah,
something like
because he was cooking for his party, and then like all of the other Philolials were looking at him like
chocobos.
That's what they are.
They're chocobos.
Like we look hungry too, and he goes, "Fine, I'll feed all of you. I can't believe I'm cooking for this KFC farm." Well, because he's from our world.
Yeah.
It's
so
funny
he makes like those comments. Like there was another episode earlier where he said something where like the what is it? The bow hero said, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah,
now
calm
Fumi's
down
just
there,
like,
Uncle Ben.
he was just like, man, I didn't know you were watching Spider-Man or something like that.
Yeah.
He just like commented on that. And so like he knows like references like that. So it's kind of funny to see interact. But yeah, apparently the queen is just going to kill Naofumi now.
Yep.
She's like,
that
no,
was the
you heroes suck. I'm gonna kill you.
Can't get along. Well, then I guess I'm just gonna kill you all.
Yeah, I was like,
okay.
Naofumi was just like, oops. I mean, I'd be happy to get along. Yeah,
I've gotta fight the giant chicken now.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, no, it's because it's like, you can't just, and I mean, they even established this in the very first episode. You can't just get rid of one of them and like get a replacement. You have to kill all the heroes have to die. And then once they're dead, you can get a new batch of the 4.
But we also kind of learned something about the church. The church in this town summoned all 4. We learned that all the other dragon hourglasses, they're supposed to be a hero in every major city
or every nation. There are 4 nations.
The 4 heroes. But then this church was very shadily trying to get all of them to their town only.
Long ago, the 4 nations lived together in harmony.
We're done right now.
But everything changed when that shield hero.
The shield hero. But now I'm really interested to see when they go to the other kingdoms or other nations because. Have they been devastated? We've already been through, 2 waves? There was the first wave.
We've been through the second wave, yeah.
Yeah, and the second wave, because that's when he used Iron Maiden the first time. So that means that the other 3 nations have gone through 2 waves without any heroes.
Yep.
We know some of them aren't capable, because the queen obviously is alive in her nation, wherever she's at, and then she has her guards.
Yeah, and he's heading to her right now. He's trying to go meet the queen.
And his guards were able to sneak up on Naofumi and everybody. They're like, oh, how did you get here? I didn't send you. So it's clear that they've been training people to survive without heroes. So how long has this been going on?
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's interesting because we are learning more stuff about the world, and we're also learning that the Queen Philolio, she was raised by a hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can basically be like, oh, so I guess Philo will eventually be like that.
Yep.
At one point,
Well, because
assuming
she's searching for the next queen, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
She's like, I sensed a queen candidate or something along those lines. Yeah. So we're learning more about the world, which is interesting. And then also she lives in the ruins of the first empire that summoned heroes, I think it was. Like that the ruins of that like empire, that was the first time when heroes were actually summoned. So then that's a question. Was she summoned in the very first time the heroes were summoned? How many lines of heroes have there been since then? Or is she just in a long line of heroes and that place was already deserted and abandoned by the time she came around?
How many heroes has she killed?
Yeah. So it's like, it's interesting because there are lots of little elements in there. This was very much just the start of the episode was like, oh, we got to fight the monster. Well, the monster's dead now. We're like, oh, okay. Now it's time to chill and world build. Like, yay, world building. And then she's like, okay, I guess I have to kill you. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Next week on this episode of Dragon Ball Z, see whether or not Naofumi lives.
Now, what is there to be excited about tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we're finally getting Season 3, Part 2 of Attack on Titan. Long last.
I am stoked. So we're next weeb-out is just going to be lit. We're going to be going on about
I'm super excited for the next episode, the return of Attack on Titan, because I've read the manga. I know what's coming. It's going to be epic. So I'm super excited for it. Yeah. But,
alrighty. Well, in that case, if you're really interested, we're going to be at Anime Central in May.
Yes.
Please come see us. We'll post pictures that come grab us, talk with us.
Yeah, definitely. We'll just chat